Hello and welcome to Georgia Sight's online beginner shuttle tatting class. I'm going to show you today how to sew in your tails once you're done tatting. Now this is the motif that I was going to throw together from the last video where I showed you how to tat over your tails, and we have come to the end of the motif. It's still attached to both shuttles, okay? So let me show you what I normally do when I sew in the ends. I pull off a pretty good amount of thread, okay? See, that's quite a bit. I want to make sure I have enough room to work with the needle and the thread. So I always pull off quite a bit. That's why tatting over tails is so much better, okay? Because you waste a lot of thread this way. If you were using the floss threader, you would run the floss threader like so. Here's my floss threader. The back of the floss threader here, the loop up here. On your ring, same deal with the chain, okay? Because here's where your ends are coming out. But for right now, we're just going to sew in these ends. Now, what you're going to need is a needle that has a head that's big enough to pull your thread through, and a needle threader, okay? And I get these at craft stores. They got a different needle threader on each end, okay? And these come in handy because they give you something to pull on without breaking, okay? Because when you're pulling your thread through these sewing needles, it's tough, okay? It's a hard job, okay? I won't lie to you. Because you really got to tug to get that thread to work through, okay? Now, once you've gotten your thread on your needle, what you're going to do, alright, let me get up here close so you can see. Can you see this? Alright, you see these little loops here? Well, where you're going to start at is on this side where the thread's coming out. Okay, now if you'd have posted your shuttle before you closed the ring, the thread would be coming out the back side and you'd be working on the back end. But what you're going to do is go right in between those two loops. Okay, you've got the waistband and then the legs of the pants, and that's where you're going to go through. And like I said, I have pierced my nails more times than I can count sewing in ends, okay? But you just pull it through like that. Alright, once you pull it through, your needle's on the back side, then you can flip it over, okay? You just got to get it to the back side. And what you're going to do is run right up under those pant loops as you go, or the waistbands, okay? And you're going to keep going. The ring opened up a bit. That's okay. This is demonstration only. I just want to get this into there so that you can see how to sew your ends on. But as you can see, it's difficult to sew those ends in because you distort everything. You see how it opened up my ring? Okay? So, but that's the gist of it. You just run it under the waistband. Alright, I don't like sewing my ends in for this reason, okay, because it does distort everything and make it jihad and out of shape, so to speak, okay? So I prefer using the floss threaders, but there are some old-time tatters that do sew their ends in. And what you're doing is you're just running it back and forth under the waistband, okay? And you will get poked with the needle. You will, if you've got any kind of nail at all, you will pierce your fingernails, okay? But what the end result is once you pull that thread, okay, can you see that? It lays right in the groove. If you will look here, in between the front and the back, you see how it's laying? And it follows this little groove, okay? And that's what happens when you sew in your ends, but that's how you do it, okay? But like I said, you take a chance of opening your ring. you take a chance of distorting the ring by sewing your ends in. Okay, little information might help you, and I have done it. Just put a little knot down here if it's a situation where you have to sew in your ends. Put a little knot, join these two, the lighter color and the darker color together, just with a little half knot. That way you have less chance of opening your ring. It may still happen. Okay, like I said, I don't sew my ends in. I use my floss threaders. I go through floss threaders more than I go through floss, and I floss my teeth all the time. So, needless to say, the floss threaders, and if I don't have floss threaders, then I use thread, you know, either one. And for people that, you know, if you're using a small thread, it can cut your hands. I will take and wrap that thread around a pencil or something stout, so I've got something to pull on besides the thread. Okay, and I always keep one of those bobbins, you know, the ones that they use for embroidery floss. I keep a bobbin of that with about 2 foot of different size threads on it, just for that purpose. And it, I mean, all of us carry an ink pen or a pencil with us, you know, and you just wrap that thread around there, grab a hold of the pencil and pull it as if you were pulling a floss threader. Okay, so that's a little information that might help you, but that's how you sew in your ends. And as I said, sewing them in does distort. Okay, it takes the beauty out of the way the stitches lay. Okay, it opens rings, things like that. And floss threaders or even a thread will work so much better and make it so much neater. Okay, so until the next video, happy tatting. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching.